For the last 10 years, you have been receiving messages from the Masters of Wisdom. How does the process of receiving messages happen? Do you see these beings of light, or do you hear their voices? Do these sessions happen at a specific time, and how often? So this energetic contact goes on during the meditation, and when the meditation is over, do you write it all down?
Do you mean how do I receive the dictations?
Yes, how exactly?
The dictations, in the past, about half a year in advance, I was always told the exact dates when the dictations would be given. And it would happen exactly during the time that I was told. If I am told that a dictation should start on June 21st, then by that time I have to find a place where the dictations can be received. The peculiarity of receiving the messages, according to my method, is such that I cannot receive them in just any location. I can receive them only in a relatively pure place. In the beginning, during the first cycle of dictations, every day for almost 3 months. No, wait, it was from March 4th through June 30th, 2005. So it's actually almost 4 months. March, April, May, June. Every day, 1 dictation a day. It certainly was very difficult because it took place in the city, in the center. And the work of receiving the messages itself, it is very, how should you say it? It is very delicate and demands extreme concentration. I cannot say what exactly concentrates, but it is a very delicate work. I need to hear what cannot be heard, see what cannot be seen. You know what I mean? And after I had been receiving the dictations for every day for 4 months, in the end, I was completely run down. Because in the morning, I got up and it seemed to me I had only one thought, that I need to receive the dictation. In the evening came very fast, and I only understood that the next morning I would have to receive a dictation again. And besides thinking that I need to receive a dictation, I could not do anything else. After I got finished, I would go out to the park or to the countryside, and I just sat down and I was completely exhausted because it went on for a long time.
Do you receive them during the meditation?
Yes. First, I get into a meditative state, and then I establish the connection with my higher self. Then I ask my higher self, who is willing to give the message? And my higher self tells me which of the masters wishes to give the message.
So do you listen to it all, receive it first, and then write it down?
No, I don't. At first, they wanted to give the dictations so that I record the sound on the voice recorder. But I could not do it because when I heard my voice, I lost the contact. So then they told me, get up and go to your computer, because I meditate lying down. I came up to the computer and they said, create a file and type. Since then, that is how I've always received them.
Do you type during the meditation?
You see, while I meditate, the master who wishes to give the dictation comes to me. In this meditative state, an energetic exchange takes place. To say it in modern language, maybe it's like an impulse comes in. A zipped file comes inside me. This file is then unpacked, extracted from the archive in the form of words. And it is those words that I type. But these words, they are unpacked at the same speed as I type them. Sometimes it happens that they say, for example, one word only, however, and I type however. Or, for example, before, and I type before. And then the whole phrase is finished. But in the beginning, only one word is said, and it must be written down. Once, I think, Archangel Michael came and said, "My angels and I," then he said, "have come to honor our messenger." The phrase was something like that. And I thought, what is he talking about? And I didn't type it. And so I'm not typing it. And I'm sitting there, but there's nothing else. It all stopped. Then I typed that phrase, "We have come to honor our messenger," and then everything continued.
So every word you need to?
I need to write down everything they say, exactly the same way they say it. It is also interesting that I never know beforehand which of the masters will come or what the subject of the dictation will be. As far as I know, that when Elizabeth Clare Prophet received the dictations, before that, 3 months ahead of time, she could know the date, who would be coming, and the subject of the dictation.
So it was all planned?
Yes. Then she could prepare for it. She could do some reading. If, for instance, the dictation is given by, let's say, Hilarion, she could look up who he was and prepare herself. But when you don't know ahead of time who will be coming, how can you prepare?
You cannot prepare anything in advance, only write down what he says.
How can you get ready if you have been receiving dictations every day for more than 100 days in a row? It is impossible. When they come, the only thing I can do is type. That's all. From the very beginning, there was a condition under which the masters gave their dictations. I had to publish them on the internet the same day. On the same day that I received the dictation, I had to publish it on the internet. Because when Geraldine Innocent passed away, only no more than 10% of all the dictations she had received had been published. By the time Elizabeth Clare Prophet retired, you know, for the last 12 years of her life, she could not work. She had Alzheimer's disease. Less than 50% of the dictations that she received had been published. In other words, the masters spend a lot of energy to prepare the person who is able to receive the dictations. But people are so careless that they cannot even publish them. Also, before the dictations began, the masters told me, "You should set up a website, the Sirius website." So I did. I set up the website called Sirius. As soon as I received a dictation, I would place it on the website the very same day. Such was the condition. I am still doing it this way. Then, of course, people learned that I was receiving dictations, and they began to invite me to different places. It also happened that after I received that large cycle, the first one, when I had received the dictations for 4 months, the masters said, "We're not going to give dictations in Omsk anymore." For some reason, it is very difficult for them, you see. They had to hold the space, so to speak. It requires a lot of energy in order to hold the space so that the messages can be received in purity in the city. That is why they said, "We're not going to give dictations in the city anymore. Look for a place out in the nature. You should move closer to the nature," they told me. The messenger is not a perfect person. It's not a person who is completely free from shortcomings. It is just a person who at this particular moment in time can perform some work for the Brotherhood. But it does not mean that he or she is ideal.